All right, I'm about to bust open 81 packs of the new expansion. Let's see how I do. So you're guaranteed a legendary within the first 10 cards of the of any new expansion that you open. Nice, already a golden. So I'm keeping track of everything in a spreadsheet as well. Nice. Nice, nice. It's good to get your first legendary like early on, because while you're guaranteed your first legendary in the first 10 packs, once you get your first legendary, it's not every 10 packs after that. It's at a minimum every 40 packs, but you revert to like the 2% rare drop rate after that. So the sooner you get your first rare, even though it's guaranteed, the better for your likelihood of getting more rares within the 80 packs. Let's see, the lurker below. Pretty happy about that. See, with Aaron, it would have been his 10th pack would have been his legendary, I'm pretty sure. Let's see how we do. Okay, 78, 81. Okay. It's easy for me to lose track of where I am in my spreadsheet. Kind of forget what I'm doing. NA. Probably due for an epic soon. Oh, there it is. Right on cue. Dark Glare. What is that? So you get epics about every 5 to 7 cards, unless you're Iron. You get them every 10 or 12. So this is considered one of the best cards, if not the best card in the set, even though it's a common rarity, because it basically replaces itself and buffs a minion. So drawing a card is huge because it's just like almost free stats for your board. There's almost no deck you wouldn't want to put this in if you're a paladin. This is another good card that's supposed to work well with Hunter. There's a couple of beasts that you can have that are like cheap beasts with pretty good base stats, but this makes them really strong. Not good. Reduce the cost of spells in your deck. Yeah, yeah, and that epic's not even that great, but he is an epic. So these Aug Merchants, there's a couple of different, they're all neutral cards, and there's different types of Aug Merchants. The one you want, though, deals 1 damage to a minion and gives it Divine Shield, which, if you do that to one of your beefier minions, can let you take a free trade on another enemy minion. Let's see, so nothing here. This card is part of the new Demon Hunter set, so it relies on the Outcast mechanic. Outcast means if it's the left or rightmost card. So if you like top deck this card and play it right away, you basically get 2 cards, which I guess that's okay. I mean, if you're not playing this as an outcast, it's just a terrible card. And even as an outcast, I don't know. You get 1 extra card. That seems okay to me. But what do I know? 75, 66. Okay. Oh, Karen, I already got my next legendary. What is this? One, two, three, four, 5 cards later. Yasiel Windsinger. Oh, that's pretty great. That is I mean, not just for the fact that it's so close to the last legendary I got, which is really lucky, but everything that comes after it too, even if it follows normal distribution, will be I'll still be more likely to get another legendary just from having gotten him so early. Your spells cost 1. Uh, okay, I heard this guy's not even that great actually. This is supposed to be pretty good though. I mean, if you think about it, 10 damage. That's pretty crazy. Let's see. Could not join the stream, Ron. Oh, that was great. All right, let's keep going. Come on, another legendary. This is why I keep the spreadsheet to see just how lucky or unlucky I get. Greyheart Sage. And here, another epic 3 packs later. That's also good. They're not supposed to be that common. Let's see. Outcast, draw a card. This is actually not terrible, I think. This is part of the reworked sort of priest class identity. But the problem was they made the base cards good for priest, but the expansion cards aren't good. So he's still probably not going to see any play. This is supposed to be pretty good. This is part of a whole bunch of new stealth minions for Rogue to try to make stealth Rogue a thing. This works with it, this guy. Actually, I probably would have had to craft this card at some point if I hadn't gotten him. Because if you're doing any kind of a stealth rogue approach, you always want to have this guy in it because you really need card draw. Okay, not too much here. You won't be seeing the same minions very often, no more than twice because of the new rare protection, which means um, you won't be you won't get doubles of anything anymore, or more copies than you can use in a deck, like for any rarity level. Extra rare, I'll take it. I mean, that's it. But also, I'm guaranteed to get full copies of every rare in the set well before. I think by the time I reach 70 packs, I'll have all of them. So this is just sort of okay to get it. Pack tactics. Wrong one. So the kind of preview of these cards that I read kind of went through each one for each of the classes, and unfortunately, Shaman, which was already like the least played class in the game, didn't get anything that would have helped it in this expansion. Like this is kind of an okay effect, but still not game-breakingly strong, which is what some of the other classes get. It's not enough anymore to get good cards. You almost have to have broken cards to do well, to make a deck even viable to play on ladder. Not much there. The Hand of a Doll again. Not good. This is just a weak card. We've seen this already. It's interesting. I'm seeing like cards that would have been like extra copies, or even like this early on. You're seeing the second card of a set. This is pretty good actually. All right, number 70. This is the one I was talking about, Guardian Og Merchant. This is actually a pretty good card that could see play. You're basically, for one mana, you're basically making one of your other minions, invincible for the turn. So you can get some good trades using that. Let's see. So NA. I'm gonna pause for a second so I can fix my spreadsheet. All right, we're back. This is not like a great card because you're almost advertising that you've got a board clear AoE coming up in 2 turns. Most of the dormant minions really just anytime you can't make an immediate impact on the board, that's bad. But waiting 2 extra turns, and even when it wakes up, when it's not dormant, it's still asleep for that turn. So it's almost dormant for 3 turns before you can do anything with it. So these cards are, it's going to be hard to see how they get used. This is also super situational, so not, and there's better 3-drop cards for warrior, so also not going to get used. This is going to kind of maybe play into that stealth rogue class, because you want to give your guys stealth so you can draw more cards when you play the minion who needs a stealth minion to activate. Okay, 68. So I haven't had an epic in a couple turns, so I think I'm due for one with my drop rate. This is not great, but if you don't have a minion out, then it's basically 3 damage. It's almost like a slightly weaker Soulfire that doesn't cost you a card. This is greedy. You'd be lucky to have a minion worth still on the board that you can afford to spend 5 mana on it and get a copy. This is also not good. You don't want to have to wait on a weapon that long if you're a warrior. We saw this guy already. This is maybe okay. Probably not. All right, there's our epic. Oh, Librams. Okay, we haven't even talked about that yet. All right, so Librams are this new class of spells that that Paladin is going to have access to. That there he has a bunch of other cards, which you'll see them as they come up here, which discount these permanently in your deck. So it'll be like an Aldor attendant or something like that that'll make all your Librams cost 1 less in your deck for the rest of the game. Not even in your deck, because you can get new copies of these spells that'll also be discounted. So some of these are really strong. So the idea of a spell paladin or a pure class paladin might actually be a thing now in this expansion, which would be nice if we could see something that's not hunter or rogue for once. So we already saw this one as well too. I love not having to worry about getting duplicates of everything. Scrap basically means the only thing I'm really going to need is to craft is legendaries and maybe a few epics. I'll probably get a bunch of epics here too. Scrapyard Colossus. Not a good minion. It'd be great for Arena though, because Arena you care about value because people you can't really build a deck, you just have to draft it. So you're not going to get a lot of nice spells that you can kind of build a deck around. So you just pick like the best minion available for its cost. And this gives a lot of value once it's gone. Come on, give me something crazy. Nothing there. Taunt Rush. Gained 4 attack this turn. Not. I actually didn't really look at this one yet. This was one I hadn't taken a look at. This is super situational. Generally not that good, but maybe for Lifesteal Priest or like a Zoolock deck that might work. This is trash. Why would you not want to attack a hero? And what would be the point of this card? Doesn't even make sense. And it's not even nice art either. So here's another one of those Librams. So once you get this discounted, for instance, you could easily make this a zero cost spell with some of the other minions that Paladin has. So once you do that, you put it on a minion that you're going to trade in, and get the spell back, and you put it on another minion, and you could cast that spell a bunch of times on one turn. Overgrowth is going to be part of Aaron's Treant spell token druid deck if he decides to make the other one. I don't know if this is part of the one that he made or not. 63. Yes, that's nay. So if we're keeping track, it's been about 75, 65. It's been about a dozen decks since I got a legendary. I think for me, I'm about due. So this guy I talked about before, Aldor Attendant, reduces the cost of Librams in the game, which is great. So put these two guys out early, and then all your super Libram spells become a lot more playable in the mid game. This is So there's two approaches to Demon Hunter right now. I guess three. There's the Outcast one, and this is another approach called Big Demon Hunter, where there's sort of big demons that you can put in your deck, and then you try to get them out early with this guy. Nice. What do we got? Another Greyheart Sage. Ooh, good. Probably be making that Stealth Rogue deck then. See, this is another guy. These all kind of play together here. Give a stealth minion +3 attack and immune this turn. And it's a 2-drop. This is like a crazy good card. Ash Tongue Slayer. And he's in golden. Nice. This was a good pack. This is just a crazy good card. I've heard this also described as one of the best cards in the set. Maybe the best card in the set. I don't know why. It doesn't look that great to me. But I guess once it's discounted from your other attendants discounting it, then it's even better. We still have 60 more packs to go. Kind of afraid to say that I'm due for a legendary because I'll probably jinx myself and have another 20 packs to go before I see it. Second Ash Tongue. Good. Not sure who this helps. Hmm. 58. Okay. Let's see, Golden Imprison Antan, not a good card, I don't think. Oh no, no, this is the good one. This is the one you want. I like that I got him in golden too. So even you're only guaranteed to get 2 of any minion. So I'm not going to see him again even in non-gold, which I could disenchant this one if I did get it. But not until I've run through all the unique rares will I be likely to see him again. Oh, that other, I kind of went past it, but there was a Warlock card that actually say when you play or discard this, draw 2 or 3 cards. That's actually going to be important for Warlock going forward. So this is the other card that we haven't seen yet that's part of the new Stealth Rogue. This is a really good 1-drop. You have 2 options. Like, he's not going to die on turn 1. There's no way to kill him because he's stealth. So you can either hold him to trade into like a good minion for value, or just hit the guy in the face on turn 2 with him and get guarantee that you get value out of him. So he's probably an auto include in a lot of rogue decks. $75. Let's see, turn 7. So it's been close to 20 decks now since I've seen a legendary, and they're supposed to drop at on average every 20. Hey, here we go. Yeah, Hand of Gul'dan. Play or discard, draw 3 cards. And you always want to discard this. You don't want to have to spend 6 mana to get them out. So you build decks that discard your other cards, and one of them will discard your highest cost card. So if you have those 2 in your hand, you play that guy, you want to discard this, you get 3 more cards back in. It's really good value. It's what you want. This is terrible. This is just a trash card. Again, this is not that great. Alright, so what did we get? A Furious Felfin. We'll call him the extra one. I keep track of whenever I get an extra rare, because you're only guaranteed to get 1 per deck. I guess it doesn't really matter now since I'm going to get all the rares anyway. This isn't that great. This is something you wouldn't really want to play this card ever, but he is a card that you would want to use, like that lackey that transforms another minion into one that costs 1 more. You would want to use him on a 2-drop and get this guy out for free. That would be crazy good stats to get from transmogrifying a 2-drop. 54. Let's see, Demon Hunter, Taunt, Lifesteal. So they basically made 2 types of rogue cards for this set. There's one that's stealth and the other part is secret. So I guess we'll start seeing the secrets soon. It's almost weird. I feel like I see these cards come in batches, like 2 of these in one pack. But we'll start seeing the new rogue secrets too. And there's a rogue legendary that I really want, that whenever you play a secret, you discover a secret from another class, which you can then play and discover more. So if you have him, and he's like a 2-drop, if you have him and a secret kind of late in the game, you can just load up on a ton of secrets and get a ton of value out of him. And he has kind of weird stats. He's like a 1/5 or something like that. That's like a 2-drop. So he's very likely to still be alive on turn 3 when you can start playing secrets if you play him on curve. Not great. Seen all that. It was about time we saw an epic. Underlight angling rod. I think I've played enough Murloc decks for my time. Probably not gonna try to make a paladin one at this point. So here we go, right on cue. The first rogue secret. This is a pretty good for 2 mana. You get a 2/3 minion with poison on it. That's pretty good. Come on, I need a legendary. It's been too long. I'm paying for getting my second one so early. Let's see. This is not good. I mean, what do you need one spell damage for? That's not going to make a huge difference. This is also not good. You play it, and then you hope that he's still alive, you know, a turn later to actually use its effect on someone. No one's going to let him hang around long enough to do this. We've talked about this one already, and this one. All right, 30 cards in, 50 to go. Good, the other Guardian. This doesn't make sense really a lot as a card, because Zoolock, you don't want to wait 2 turns to start playing your other minions from your hand. You want to have a big hand. I guess maybe as a control warlock, that this would only ever help you if you played him on turn 2. Anytime after that, and he's not worth it, because you're just waiting so long for his effect. Come on, legendary. I guess I should be happy if I get like, hold on, I have 80 packs, so it's really 70 because you get the first one within the first 10. So at worst, I have to get at least 3 legendaries. If I do awful, I would get 3. Summon a 9/1 Inquisitor. This is terrible. I mean, I haven't even seen this before, but just looking at this, who that will die to anything. It's just terrible, terrible card. This is pretty good. Good for a freeze mage. This is not good. You don't have a lot of good totems to use it on. You don't want to use it on your actual totem. Call that NA. So I feel like my luck is balancing out here in terms of not seeing another legendary. All I care about is seeing those legendaries. Huh. Other note, I think I've gotten all the commons at this point, because we are now seeing duplicates of commons. So I've already seen this before, so we've gotten all the commons then at this point. And then everything else is just going to get dusted. Let's see, 47. Let's see, turn 7, turn 35. So it's been close to 30 packs now since our last legendary. It's not great. Good thing I have like 20,000 dust. All right, Bog Spine Knuckles. Not an epic I'd want because I don't think I'll be playing Shaman. Another sort of transform effect, but just not good enough. It's not going to get it done. Be very surprised if someone makes a viable Shaman deck. 45. So I guess I don't need to talk about any of these commons anymore. It'll just be the rares and epics that are worth talking about. And again, we've already kind of seen these Aldor guys that discount your Librams. Let's see, Aldor. Bamboozle. This is supposed to be maybe the best secret for Rogue. The best part is it happens when your minions attack. So you have like a 2-drop down there. And they try to attack it, and now it's like a 5-drop, and it could be a really good statted one. So this is just a great card. Glad I got it. But I really need an epic. I mean a legendary. Bamboozle. And I got this 2 packs after my last epic, so that's kind of nice. I think, so there's supposed to be a pity timer in the game that you cannot go more than 40 packs without opening a legendary. So it was pack 7 that I had my last legendary, and now I'm on coming up on pack 40. So I'm guaranteed to get one within the next 7 packs, or so I'm told. I think I'm actually not guaranteed to get 3 legendaries, because if it's one every 40, then I could theoretically just get 2. Maybe they changed the probability too in this, because now to make up for the fact that you're not getting duplicates anymore, they've lowered the drop rate of legendaries and just didn't tell anyone. Wow, this is crazy. I've never gone this long without getting a legendary before. The Grand Slam. And this is, especially if you do this on an empty board, this is basically 12 damage no matter what. That's really good. Although it is expensive. Pack 43. So I'm within 4 packs of the pity timer. I've never gotten this close before. At least I'm getting epics. Apexis Blast. Oops. All right, let's do that. All right, 45. So theoretically, one of these next 3 packs has to have a legendary in it. There it is. Oh, waited long enough. Oh no, it's not a good one. This is considered, so there's these new legendaries called primes, and I guess each class gets this prime legendary that when it dies, it shuffles a card into your deck that's like an even more powerful version that usually has different effects that it does. Can't remember what the prime version of this guy does, but I think he just has pretty good stats. I think he's like basically that winged guardian or something, or like a taunt, a tar creeper. He's like a 6/7 taunt with like lifesteal or something, but it's just really kind of underwhelming. It's like a good card, but not like a broken card, and you need broken cards. Ugh, that was rough. All right, so we got 3 legendaries. That was good, and we still have a bunch of cards. 36 packs left, so I'll probably get 1 more legendary. So 4, which is okay. It's not great. I'm just going to skip anything that's common now at this point. This is also supposed to be a really good card for Demon Hunter. Skull of Gul'dan. Demon Hunters, this new class has like the best card draw in the game. And I think this card is basically why. Like to be able to, just being able to draw 3 cards is nice, but then discounting them is really good, especially by 3. That's really good. You can get this card as an outcast card. Like if you top deck this or something, I'll probably be coming up against this a lot. NA. Ooh, a golden epic. Good, I'll probably dust this thing and get something useful with it. Let's see, golden. At least this pack is worth a lot to to dust everything that's in here and go build my actual legendaries. Fungal Fortune. Oh, so this was part of the deck that I told Aaron to go make. A spell druid. Basically, you don't have any minions in the deck. It's all spells. There's this and another card, Glowfly Swarm. I don't think I've seen it yet here, but it's a rare card, I think. And it creates a bunch of like 2/2 tokens, one for each spell in your hand. So if you only have spells in your hand, and it's turn 5 and you play that, you can create a pretty wide board for not a lot of mana. This was a pretty good pack. 30. Augmented Porcupine. So this card is why those other cards we saw for Hunter that draw a beast and give it 3/3, this is the beast you want to draw with that card. Because you keep buffing this thing in your hand, then you play it, it's going to do a ton of damage, right? Like at least 5 if you draw it using that other card, and just kind of wreck someone's day with it. And it's, even if you play it on curve, it's not terrible, and the effect is still pretty good after it dies. But if you buff it, it becomes really good. This is also a really good card to get, Priestess of Fury. This is every turn you're casting 2 copies of Arcane Missiles, basically. And if you can keep this thing alive for even like a turn or 2, you get a really good value out of it. And it's probably going to help clear any kind of a board that you drop it on. Okay, that's good. Next. Another epic. I'm getting a lot of epics, actually. Let's take a look at this. Another Nagrand Slam. So that'll be my second one. I'll have to figure out some way to use it. So I can't show my spreadsheet here, but in the last, in 20 packs, I've gotten 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 epics. So I'm getting them about every 2 or 3 packs right now. That's pretty good. Guess it's to make up for the lack of legendaries. Blood boil brute. So this is a okay minion. Like if you can discount him even by one, I think he's considered good. Like for 6, you just wait until there's a board with like a couple of hurt guys on it, and then he's suddenly a really good value. So this is a good card. Oh, so this is that card that works with the other card, the Skull of Gul'dan, that is a 6-cost card to draw 3 more. You want to have him and this guy in your hand. Play him, and he's got Rush. A 4/4 with Rush, or 4-cost card with 5/5 with Rush by itself would be great. Oh, I guess that's why you discard your highest cost card. It's great if you've got that other card in your hand, but if not, it's gonna hurt you. So he's kind of a rolling the dice. Bog Beam is another card that belongs in Aaron's sort of. Actually, I don't know if he would want this one. He said it doesn't like this. Like they're very specific about having 7 mana crystals. I think that's because of this new card Overgrowth. So it's a 4-cost druid spell that gives you 2 empty mana crystals. So instead of having 5, the next turn after you play it, you would have 7, which means these cards are suddenly free. So there's a lot of synergy between these 2 cards and that Overgrowth one. And also anything expensive for Druid. Being able to ramp by 2 cards, by 2 mana is a big deal. If you're not under like crazy pressure to do it. Nice. All right. Apex Predator. Oh, this guy. Now this is supposed to be one of the best primes. Because the guy you shuffle into your deck. Let me see. What does he do? Zixor Prime. He's just a crazy value guy that you can get. So he costs 8, and he's an 8-cost 4/4 with Rush, but he summons 3 copies of himself, of this minion. It says the prime version of this, and he's a beast. So if you draw that card using your other card that hand buffs a beast, like draw a beast and give it 3/3, then suddenly you've just a crazy amount of stats on board on turn 8. Like this guy will win games by himself and gives Hunter a comeback condition. Like if everything's hopeless and you draw like the buffed prime version, you're just wipe out the other guy's board because you'll have 4 like 5/5s or something even stronger. No, they're 4/4 to start with. So you'll have 4 7/7s with Rush on the board. Wipe everything out and then kill the guy the next turn unless he can answer that back. So I'm glad I got this. He's making this better for me. Zixor Prime. Also, he's not that far from my last legendary. So it's helping my statistical odds here again. Let's see, how many cards has it been? 15. So he's 16 cards from the last one, which is not that. That's pretty good. If you can get them less than 20 apart, that you're doing all right. And I have 20 left, so maybe, who knows, maybe I'll get another one. Another epic. War Mall Challenger. So a lot of people have done the math on this thing to see whether it's worth it or not. Because like on turn 3, you might be able to like cheat him out sort of, and you have this kind of awkwardly statted 110 on the board that I don't know you could do something with. But even a minion that's like a 3/2 minion, he would have to fight it twice, and he'd be left with like 4 health or something. So suddenly you're putting out a 3-cost 1/4 guy that's on the board. Like, is that worth it? I don't know. But you've also cleared a minion at the same time, so maybe, maybe it is. Smarter people than me will figure it out. I might have to play Hunter again just because of that legendary. Oh, Karen. I just got, again, another legendary within, this time it was within 3 packs of my last one. And this one, Mishifin, what does he do again? Mishfin Prime is the one we're interested in. All right, so this guy, the Prime version, let's see. Oh, he's actually not that good. Yeah, I mean, he'd be great for arena, but the guy he gives you is a 10-cost minion who's a taunt, and he can either summon a 9/9 fungal giant with taunt or rush. So if you're like a quest druid where you can get both choose one effects, I think you'd still end up with just one extra minion, but he'd have taunt and rush. So nice to get another legendary, but not one of the ones I wanted. But I do like getting them so close together. Again, even if I'm unlikely to get another legendary in the next 18 packs, I'll still get a bunch more at the end of the month, so maybe then, who knows. Just increases my chances of getting that next legendary that I do want. So if we're keeping count, I'm up to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 legendaries so far. Come on, let's get one more. That's all I want. Okay, nothing there. Shattered Rumbler. Yeah, this is just another terrible shaman card. It's conditional for one thing. It has an okay effect, and the stats are terrible for 5 cost. You have to do so much better than this if you're gonna make shaman a thing. So waste of an epic for me. It's a good thing I'm getting a whole bunch of epics. Oh good, another one. I don't know how to feel about this guy, Replic. I haven't actually seen him before. He would only make sense in a deck where you know you're going to have a lot of like 1-drops or something. You know, like who would run this? It doesn't really affect the board that much. I guess he's good if you can keep him going for more than a turn, because your neighbor would then also become a Replicatotron. You could just protect them. Actually, this is an interesting card now that I think about it. Because if any of them survive into the next turn, like you would only play this if you have neighbors. Oh, but you want to put them on the end so you know who's getting transformed. So you could, as long as one of them's alive the next turn, you could play like a 1-drop lackey and push this guy out to the side of the board and put the lackey next to him so he gets turned into one of these too. This will be interesting. This is going to be a lot of memes with this guy, I think. Replicatotron. So I think I'm seeing copies of the rares now too. I feel like I've seen that one before. So maybe oh yeah, I think we've gotten all the rares at this point. I like how this doesn't specify that it has to be an enemy minion. So you could actually kind of shadow step. It's like a reverse shadow step where you're actually paying more, but that might be worth it in some situations. It's nice to have the option to get one of your other minions back, even if it makes it more expensive. So it's very flexible. But this will only work in a secret deck. So I don't know that you could run secrets and stealth though. It actually wouldn't even make sense because a lot of the secrets rely on your minions being attacked, and if they're stealth, they won't get attacked. Let's see. Okay. I'm kind of really hoping I can hit Diamond 5 this month without having to like build a new deck to do it. Like just using my Galacon Rogue. Only 2 cards in my deck that I currently use are actually going to wild. Both of my mechs, Snip Snap and Zilliax. So I'm gonna have to figure out a way to like replace those. Prison Sunkill. People have mixed feelings about this card because you're playing a minion on turn 1 that doesn't really do anything. But on turn 3, which is when this wakes up, you can now put in like Karen, what's the Murloc that gives your other ones health? Cold Light Seer? Yeah. So you can like suddenly have a nice board of beefy Murlocs on turn 3 if everything works out right. And you could play like another minion on turn 2 and also get the buff if it's a Murloc. So it could be a good card, I don't know. Let's see, Golden Scrap Golem. This is a good secret. It's good value. Especially if you use it on a Death Rattle minion. Now you got 2 Death Rattle minions. Got yourself a stew. Alright, come on. Give me something good. Here we go. Oh, it's a epic rarity. I wonder if... I guess this is not the deck that Aaron made then, because he would have had to spend a fair bit of gold to make this. Or dust, rather. Glowfly Swarm. I might have to try out that deck. Maybe if I get another one of these, I'll do it. So that's for the spell token druid deck. Hmm. Oh, I should have dwelt on that last one. It was like an 8 cost rush minion. I think it's like a 9/5 with rush for Hunter that leaves like a 5/9 taunt after it dies. That's just a really good card. Okay, 4 left. interesting. It seems like every time I get two legendaries like near to each other, there's like a long gap between them after that. It's almost like there's not an independent probability distribution of the drop rate. Almost like a dip. Oh, never mind. All right, so this is part of that Librum deck. I mean, you don't have to, but this really makes the most sense in a Librum deck because you're going to be casting a bunch of Librums before you cast this, and especially if you can discount them to like 0, which isn't that hard to do. Like the cheaper ones, you get a bunch of those in your hand, stack them on her or whoever else you have out, you got yourself a stew. So that is nice. Leadrin. Lady Leadrin. So now I'm up to 6 legendaries. So I'm already doing twice as well as the worst that you could do. So it's pretty good drop rate overall. Let's see. And it's only been 12 packs since my last legendary. Let's see if I get another one in these next 2 packs. Where were you? Pack 3. Oh, not 12, 15. Had that wrong. Still, pretty nice. There's Skull of Gul'dan. My first one was an extra one. All right, ending on a high note. Another Bamboozle, nice. Good, good, good. I'm gonna make a secret rogue and a stealth rogue, I think. Although I didn't get the stealth legendary. Oh, forgot you. All right. Got a lot of shiny new cards. So 18 extra rares, 18 extra rare copies. And 179 extra commons. Wow. Guess I'll take note of all this too. 360 dust for the rares, 895 for the commons. That stuff adds up. So that'll be close to another legendary just from that. So I've got 21,000 dust, and I haven't even dusted any of the stuff that just went to wild. And there's a bunch of it, at least a couple thousand dust there. So I could probably craft just about every legendary in this set at this point if I really wanted to, but then I wouldn't leave myself anything for the next expansion. I'd rather not craft everything and have something to fall back on going forward. All right, I think that should do it. Thank you for listening.